Hey everyone, Egman here with another video. Today we're going to go over some Bandai website updates. First the errata list, and then also they dropped the new rares for this set. We've got the noble hero rares and the ignoble villain rares. Very fun choice for rarity name there. But let's just jump on into it. I've got a bit of a sniffle still, so sorry that I don't know how bad it sounds, but hopefully it's not too bad. And I might be a little bit out of it, but we're gonna truck on through anyways. World Peace. It got eroded to having instead of being able to play a card from your drop area with your equal or less than your current energy, it's now just three or less, and that's pretty much the big three erratas. Is that Plea for Salvation also got this, and Puranga also got this on its Ultimate Wish. Uh, I think this, in general, I believe that World Peace needs something happening. I felt like Ramp Shenron was a very viable deck, and it was also a little bit like solitaire in a lot of ways. There wasn't a lot of interaction, and once you start doing your stuff, your opponent really can't do anything. And in my opinion, I think that's a little bit unfair. And really, when you look at when this card was made, I don't think it was a crazy card. We were in a meta where it wasn't uncommon to lose on like turn 2 or 3, and so getting to turn 4 in general it was a pipe dream, especially with Shenron leaders, which didn't have as much defense as they have today. And yeah, just in general, we're going into more grindy control based matchup where it's not uncommon to get to 5 or 6 energy, and even with ramp, 7 or 8 energy. So I think this card just got better over time because the meta changed to where you could really play this really easily. Like even if you just hard cast this on turn 5, you play 4 energy to get a 5 energy, and you don't even lose card advantage because it's something from your drop area, right? It's not something that you have to lose in hand as well. It was a card that previously you probably couldn't even use because it was in your drop area. So I felt like yeah, it was just getting out of control. I think Bandai saw that. They're pushing towards more control and slow play, or not slow play, but more control grindy matchups, which I guess can introduce slow play. But the point I'm saying is that we're getting to higher energy levels, and that means this card gets better the later in the game it goes, and so I feel like it was warranted. Some kind of change was warranted. So two opinions on the change. I guess one is the how it's changed. I think it's fine. I think this card is still going to be seeing some play. The fact that it can get 3 or less, I don't think is terrible. I think we're just waiting. Or it's just going to be more combo deck based. I mean, it's already for combo decks, but it's going to be more for like there's some 3 drops that Child's Wish, which this is kind of like a souped up version of Child's Wish for double the energy. It's like Path to Greatness Son Goku is the one that keeps coming to mind. That has 1900 attack because they didn't want it to get Child's Wish, but now World Peace can get it still. And that's really it. That's the one I can think of, but I'm sure there's others. And really down the line, it's the same thing. So Plea for Salvation, 3 or less, and then there's also Puranga. Puranga, I'm a little bit. It's the ultimate wish, right? So it's kind of got to be a little bit of spunk, and I feel like restricting this to also have the 3 or less condition really just neuters this guy. I wish they would have maybe it was gonna be degenerate if they did keep it at what it was. Maybe not even just kill off ramp Gogeta, or not ramp Gogeta, just ramp Goku or whatever, just ramp Puranga. I don't think it would have been as degenerate just because you wouldn't be able to world peace on for 4 energy twice and then use the Puranga, right? You'd have to like hard cast something, and then you could use the final wish and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. This could have been discussion for another time. I think this is okay. It would have been okay unerrated, but I'll trust Bandai in saying that there's some funky stuff coming up that it would have been a rough time if that stayed. And then Plea for Salvation. I would have been okay with this staying at 4 or less as well. It is a worse version of World Peace because it's only restricted to green cards, and then Bandai has to say, oh, we can't make any really broken green cards. Spoilers: there's so many broken high energy cost green cards, but This can still get Victory Strike. This can still get Kaioken Goku. All and it can still get. I already said Victory Strike, but it can get like Broly. There we go. Big boy Broly. It could get like a 7-drop for 4 energy, and then you can blow it up, and they get the Secret Rare Broly. Sure. All right. There's another example, but that's fine. I think that's okay. So all across the board, I think it was a good change. I think people are ready to move away from ramp in general, and trying to get just different kind of decks. The one thing I will say is that I don't like erratas for balance as much, just because it's just another barrier of entry. They don't do this very often, and it looks like they're just flipping back and forth on if they want to ban cards or if they want errata cards. In my personal opinion, since this isn't a digital card game, and now we have all these printed cards that are now wrong, right? And any person picking up this game, they'll see this World Peace card, not know that it's errated, and then they're gonna have a bad time with it. I wish this card was. I mean, sure, ban lists are the same thing. Don't get me wrong, but I wish these cards were banned, and then they just would make almost carbon copies of these cards with the new effects. Kind of like what happened with Child's Wish got banned, and then they created Assembling the Squad. I feel like Assembling the Squad kind of has the same kind of flavor that Child's Wish has, but without it's a more balanced version of it, right? And it replaced a lot of the things that Child's Wish was trying to do. I wish they just would have made new cards that are these, and then and make them commons, right? And so they're just free to go out. I wouldn't mind having to buy new cards that are just printed correctly, instead of having to remember that these cards are different from their text. So and this could also be remedied if they do make reprints of these cards with the errata. They haven't done that, to my knowledge, to any of the errata cards, and I think that's a shame, especially since there's so many reprint sets going around. I think it could be warranted for that as well. So I guess we'll just kind of see what's going on from there. Moving forward, finally, we've got also 3 different erratas for Set 8, which isn't even out yet, but it's just quality of life stuff. Android 21 has Energy Exhaust. They just forgot to put it on her. Great Baby has a comma instead of a colon, so they added that. Technically, it's a technicality there. The only one that really got nerfed, I guess, is the Super Saiyan 4 Son Goku, a heartfelt plea. So what this card has is Triple Strike, Energy Exhaust, Offering, which is the new keyword that either you crit 1 life to your opponent, or you draw 2, and they get to choose which one happens. And then auto. Choose one of your red battle cards with 25k power or more and place it in your own drop area. When your leader activates Awaken, if Super Saiyan 4 Son Goku, a heartfelt plea, isn't in play in your battle area, and you may place this card from your hand. So they moved it to the condition here, and the reason they did that is with the way it's currently written, you could play. So you Awaken, all copies of this card in your hand go into pending. Then you play one of them by pitching a 25k or less. It gets played. You do Offering, which means your opponent either negs a life or you get draw 2 cards. Cool. And then it's still the Awaken step, and so you still have activation time. So you can say, oh, I'm going to play another of this whatever is called a heartfelt plea, by pitching the original one. And so technically there's never ever a time where in this situation where there are 2 of these Super Saiyan 4 Son Gokus on the field, and then you just get to cycle them all the way through your hand. Every time you do, you get to either +1 since you draw 2 cards, or your opponent has to lose a life and crit a life too. So I'm happy they fixed this. I don't think that was ever how they intended it to be. I think it was just a bad translation. And honestly, if you read this as it is, I don't think some people will probably conclude that it's supposed to work this way anyways. I think it was just a technicality and how the rules work. So now you can't do that, and I still think it's a fantastic card to just play. And then you still have a Triple Strike 25k for almost free. You still have to choose one of your red battle cards, 25k power or more. But you get to play this, and then also Offering is a really interesting keyword, and I'm really excited to see how it really pans out. And that's it for these. Let's go to the the new rares. So with these rares, there's some new what are these tags? I guess where so there's heroic, and when you play another heroic battle card or activate a heroic extra card skill, draw one card, then negate the skill for duration of the turn. And then there's the counterpart, the villainous one. So when you play another villainous battle card or activate a villainous extra card skill, your opponent chooses one card in their hand and places it in their drop area, then negate their skill for duration of the turn. So I think these are really neat. With these tags like this, being able to kind of having like these continuous effects that can trigger, and just kind of lends for some combo play, while also like some deck building strategies. I'm going to go over the cards first before I kind of pick them apart. I think these are better than kind of what we got for the campaign rares from last time, the Infinite Saiyan rares. I didn't think those ones were really good. I think these ones are probably a little bit better, but let me just go into it. So we've got this Vegeta. So active main, choose one red Bulma card in your battle area, placing your at the bottom of your owner's deck. Place this card from your hand, then choose up to, play this card from your hand, then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and it gets minus 10k power, and you can't play Vegeta Prideful Hero for duration of the turn. Whew, that was a reading and a half. So this Vegeta, when you play it, you're able to pretty much blow up something for free, and honestly, you're able to play this for only like I think there's some 1-drop red Bulmas from this set, but just for 1 energy, you're able to play this 4-drop with 15k, so already on curve. Sure, you might go -1, but if you have heroic active, you have another heroic card out, you get to draw one out, so it kind of balances there. Plus, you're able to potentially KO one of your opponent's cards, and the fact that it ignores barrier is fantastic. So I expect this to be in like a lot of, Balm is actually a deck right now, so I expect this to be in there. Just a really good card, just utility wise too. So we've got Beerus, Destructive Villain. So it has an auto. When you play this card, choose up to 1 Beerus card in your drop area, and cost 2 or more, add to your hand. Then if you have 5 or less cards in your hand, also draw 1. So this one's just super value based. For two specific red energy, man. All right, I'm gonna break. I wish there. A lot of these are really color specific, and also archetype specific, which makes it really hard to have a lot of heroic and a lot of villainous cards in your deck at the same time, which means that there's not a lot of combos you can do with them. All right, rant over on that. But so for this Beerus, you're able to go potentially +3 with this card for 2 energy. You're able to add a Beerus, and then if you have less than 5 or 5 or less, you get to draw a card, so that's 2. And then also, if you activate this card, or when you play this card, if you have another villainous card out, then your opponent has to discard a card too, so that's +3. And it's a 15k body. It's 2 specific red, which sucks. I wish it was 1 specific red, because then it just is hard to splash in villainous decks, or decks with a lot of villainous tags. But there's that. We've got Son Goku, Prideful Hero. This one, as I was saying, like some of these are really archetype specific. So this one says choose 3 clone tokens in your opponent's battle area, remove it from the game, play this card from your hand. So now this card is like restricted to 2 or 3 leaders with the specific Android 21 scheme. So that's kind of feels bad for a card that you want to try to splash in as many things as possible. But it also has an active battle for 2 blue and 2 not blue. Choose any number of battle cards in your energy area, combo them when this card is in battle, and this card gains triple strike for the duration of the battle. So you're able to get a big boy from this. I don't think it's fantastic, honestly, especially since it has no protection, and there's so many ways that battle card can get blown up in the battle phase or in the combo step, especially with all this arrival stuff too. So I don't feel like it's super good as just an end condition, especially since it has 10k, and since even though you combo with these things, they don't get added to their power until afterwards. So if you just give minus 10k to this Goku, then you wasted 4 energy, and then also your actual energy you comboed with, that's gone as well. So just seems bad, and then just also having to have clone tokens be a thing to play this, I just lackluster. Android 21, so kind of the same counterpart, but you think this one would have the clone tokens, but no, so it's villainous. Auto choose one card in your energy, place it in your drop area. When you play this card, choose over your opponent's battle cards with any cost 4 or less, and place them at the bottom of their owner's deck in any order. So there we go. Just honestly, I feel like these should have swapped. I think that would have been great, but that's not what they did, and so here we are. This could be a good board wipe. Sure, you have to lose a card in your energy, but there we go. No, not a card in your energy. Next up is Piccolo, Prideful Hero. So it's crit, 20k, 4-drop, heroic, and then active main was turn. Choose one of your battle cards, place it in a drop area. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, KO it. Then your opponent chooses one card in their hand and place it in their drop area. I wish this one was like vanilla. Like this, I think this effect would have been better on a villainous, because then you'd have to like discard 2. Like if you play villainous later in the turn 2, you'd have to discard 2 cards. And this card like screams like, negging your opponent's hand, but the heroic effect makes you draw 1. I think if this was a villainous effect, it would have been a lot better. But still an okay card. The first time you play this, it's a 4-drop that goes +1, and it's a 20k crit. It's all right. It's a Mechian, and that gets a lot of support too. But just 2 specific greens, so you gotta have green stuff in there too. Dr. Euro. Once again, this could be wrong, but I think it's Euro. Tell me how wrong I am. Type out in the comments below how it sounds like. I'm expecting just everyone to say Dr. Euro, but so it's villainous. Auto, when you play this card, choose up to 1 Frenzy Warrior card and you drop it, add it to your hand. Then choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. And then also for 2 green, choose 1 Dr. Cochin card in your battle area, KO it, play this card from your hand. So same thing here. It's trying to have this villainous tag and be really flexible and be able to have a lot of synergy with villainous cards, but this card is really specific to just its archetype, because you have to, to get its full effect, you have Frenzy Warrior and Dr. Cochin, because otherwise, if you just play this for 4, you're doing nothing. I guess you get to KO one of your opponent's battle cards, because it's just choose up to 1, and then you can just KO it, and then villainous happens. But I don't know. I feel like there's some weirdness going on here. Going next to the yellow ones. So you've got Super Saiyan Force and Goku, Prideful Hero, Barrier, Heroic, Permanent. You can only have 1 of these in your battle area. When your leader activates Awaken or Wish, this card gets plus 20k power and double strike for duration of the turn. Cool. I think, other big thing about these cards is that they're all 3 and 4 drops. If they were more 2 drops, I'd be okay. This Beerus, I think, is a fantastic one. I think this is the best one they've designed. But with maybe this Vegeta also, because you can get this out for really cheap. But you do have to be, a Red Bulma and that kind of stuff. But you can't, the idea is that you're supposed to be able to play a lot of heroic effects to get a lot of them to trigger, to get value. But it just seems so hard to do that. I could be wrong, but it just seems kind of rough. But all these cards are really exciting, so you want to play them. But so you play this and then it gets double strike and plus 20k, but then what? And then your leader awakens and then you can't play this anymore. And then you really don't want to play any more of these 3-drop Gokus, because then you don't get to have their auto go off, and you can only have 1 of them in your battle area anyways, right? Why would they make this heroic card only have 1? Because then you can't chain them together. It just infuriates me. And then Super Baby 2, Destructive Villain. 15k crit, it's Baby Vegeta GT. Auto, when your leader activates Awaken or Wish, this card gets plus 15k power and dual attack for duration of the turn. So that's fine. This is cool. So you got a 20k or 30k crit with dual attack, and then additionally, I don't know why. I don't know. It just seems like if they were really worried about this, and if this could have been 15k power, and then you could have had a bunch of that on the field, that would have been great. But now you've got this 3-drop baby. Let's say you have 2. Let's say you played 1 on turn 3. No, let's just say on turn 4. So turn 4, you play 1. You awaken. You untap 2. No, you can't do that. Oh man, I am sick. But the idea that I'm trying to say is that you have 2 of these on the board. Then you awake. You have 1. You play another one, and then you get its villainous effects. Your opponent has to discard a card. Then you awaken, and then you've got two 30k doubles or dual attack crits that are able to swing in and just do a bunch of damage while also doing the villainous stuff. And I don't know. I think that seems really cool and has some potential, but I don't know. And then there are the extra cards that are colorless. So this card gains heroic in all areas. Choose up to an active battle for 1. Choose up to one of your leader cards. It gets plus 10k power for duration of the battle. Then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards at any cost of 2 or less and KO it. Cool, that's fine. Great card for like 1 energy, being able to do 10k, and then also potentially being able to blow up something 2 or less. Cool. Like the idea of blowing up 1 energy worth of stuff, or sorry, 2 energy worth of stuff for 1 energy is you're above the curve. But it just, I don't know. Is the idea that you play the extra cards and then you get the heroics effects? I mean, yes, obviously, but it seems like it doesn't. I don't know. It's not as like, you can't get as crazy as like time regulated Vegeta, right? Because with that you just plop them down and then you do overwhelm and stuff, right? They're kind of like active all the time. Well, these guys I feel like are just harder to do their abilities and stuff. Sure, you get these 1-drop extra cards, but I don't know how I feel. And then there's villainous Counter-Strike. This one's just weird. So it's, your opponent has a skillless battle card in play. Choose any number of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost 4 or less, for which the total cost ups to 4 or less and send them to the warp. So just having a skillless card in play to have this activate, especially since this is the only like one energy cost way to activate villainous effects. It's just weird. And no, this doesn't mean just like skillless matchups. You can like cold bloodless something and then it's skillless and then you can play this card. But it's just a way bigger condition. I guess it's fine that so yeah, you choose any number of your opponent's battle cards with any cost 4 or less, for which the total cost adds up to 4 or less, and send them to the owner's warp. So you can't get tokens either, because it says 4 or less and then up to 4. Tokens are energyless, but yeah, you can't even activate this card. I guess because you have to have this condition. Your opponent has to have a skillless card. Which usually means that you have to either have more energy to do something, or you're really lucky you're playing against a skillless match. I don't know. This card seems too much to do, but at least it can just wipe a board and can wipe the. I guess like it's not restricted to your turn. It could be on your opponent's turn, which is great for wiping off like a 3-drop that's attacking or something. But it's just, I don't know. I'm conflicted, and I think that's it for this video. I probably rambled on a little bit too much about these, and I definitely am feeling sick, more sick after recording this than before. Jeez, oh gosh, oh man. All right, I need to close this video out. By and large, I think these are neat and in theming. I just hope they actually use more of these tags to do it. It doesn't. Looking at the past, they don't do that, and then what really happens is that they have these really cool cards that don't have any support, and then they don't print any more support later, and then they just kind of fizzle away and everything like that. They're like, and then people just look at the cards that were good, and probably it's just going to be this Beerus, it's probably just going to be this Vegeta, and like this probably not good enough. Android 21 probably not good enough. Piccolo maybe in like weird Piccolo, or weird Namekian builds. Doctor, if this archetype goes off, this will definitely be in that deck, just because it gets some value there. This, I guess I could see, just the 3, it can be a win condition, but it's you probably won't ever get the heroic effect off, because you probably just be running. This would probably be the only heroic card you're running. So, and then I could see like some shenanigans with having 2 or 3 of these out, and then awakening, and then going ham. And also, if you played like 2 or 3 of this turn, then all their villainous goes off, and then they have to discard 2 or 3 cards. I think that this one could be better, but also just the villains are so bad because like the 1-drop is so specific compared to like heroic strike. I don't know. I'm rambling. I'm going to go to bed and get some cough syrup. Not in that order. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll catch you all next time.